Chris Evans made Johnny Storm a pop culture icon with a single. And now, with Joseph Quinn stepping into those blazing boots in Fantastic Four First Steps, we've got ourselves the ultimate superhero showdown. 2 actors, 2 decades, 1 burning question. Who truly is the Human Torch? See, Johnny Storm isn't your typical superhero. He's not brooding like Batman, or noble like Superman. He's that cocky younger brother who sets himself on fire and thinks it's cool. He's the guy who'd absolutely roast you on Twitter, but would also literally fly through a wall of flames to save your life. In Tim Story's Fantastic Four, Chris Evans bursts onto the screen like a can of Red Bull in human form. He's a thrill-seeking, womanizing, fame-hungry playboy, and he is having the time of his life. He captures the vibe of Johnny Storm perfectly. This is the guy who, upon getting superpowers, doesn't wrestle with the responsibility. His first thought is, how can I use this to get famous and impress girls? This brings us to our first battleground, character fidelity. How true were they to the comics? Evans absolutely nails the surface-level Johnny. The ego, the impulsiveness, the love of the spotlight, it's ripped straight from the page. There's a scene where he's on a motocross track, doing insane stunts, and he literally sets himself on fire while skiing down a mountain just for the thrill of it. That is 100% pure, uncut Johnny Storm arrogance. But here's the problem. It's only the surface. The 2005 script took a character who, in the comics, was a brilliant mechanic and pilot, and basically dumbed him down. As Collider put it, they stripped him of the depth that made him more than just the flashy, fire-powered hothead. He became the team's comic relief, the walking punchline. His intelligence? Gone. His potential for growth? Sidelined for another joke about setting Ben Grimm's stuff on fire. It was a caricature, a brilliant, endlessly watchable caricature. Now, let's jump forward to 2025. The MCU's First Steps is a different beast entirely. Director Matt Shakman is laser-focused on one thing: family. And in this family, Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm isn't the dumb jock. He's the prodigy. From the jump, this Johnny is a competent astronaut on the mission that gives them their powers. We sometimes see him assisting Reed Richards in the lab, helping with the teleportation device that the team would later use in the final battle. He also helps decode and recognizes the Silver Surfer's native tongue from his archive of interspace transmissions, surprising the team and enabling communication that leads to her alliance with the Fantastic Four to save Earth. And the biggest change? The Playboy persona is gone. In an interview, Quinn himself said they wanted a Johnny who was less callous with other people's feelings, acknowledging that the womanizing trope feels outdated. This isn't a guy who treats women like conquests. His romantic arc with Shalabal, the Silver Surfer, is built on mutual respect and sacrifice. This version is closer to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's original vision, a hot-headed but fundamentally good kid who loves his family. He's loyal, smart, and capable. So Quinn wins on fidelity, right? Case closed? Not so fast, because some fans and critics have a major complaint. While he's more accurate on paper, Quinn's portrayal is more reserved. He's got the intelligence, he's got the heart, but does he have that fire? That unbearable, infectious, star-making arrogance? For capturing the character's full skill set and loyalty from the comics, Joseph Quinn takes the point. But it's a win with an asterisk, because he loses some of the chaotic energy that made Johnny, well, Johnny.
Don't tell me how to kill sexy aliens!
Okay, so Quinn's character was true to the comics, but a character is nothing without the actor. This brings us to acting range. Who did more with what they were given? This is where things get complicated. Chris Evans was working with a script that was, frankly, a one-trick pony. Johnny was there to be funny and hot, and Evans crushed it. His comedic timing is razor-sharp. His back and forth with Michael Chiklis's Ben Grimm is the heart and soul of those films.
How do you guys,
That's none of your business!
Okay, all right, I'm just concerned.
He steals every scene he's in. A 2005 Variety review praised him for his boyish charm, but also noted the film doesn't give him much to work with beyond humor. And that's the key. The script put him in a box labeled Hot Funny Guy. When he did get a rare moment of depth, like absorbing the team's powers to sacrifice himself in Rise of the Silver Surfer, you see a glimmer of something more. You see the hero he would eventually become, both literally and figuratively, as Captain America. But those moments are few and far between. He's a charismatic powerhouse trapped in a shallow role. Now let's look at Quinn. Quinn comes into this role carrying the dramatic weight from his performances in Stranger Things and A Quiet Place Day One. The MCU script gave him way more to chew on. He got scenes of quiet vulnerability, like supporting his sister through the stress of a cosmic pregnancy. He gets to be the intelligent co-pilot to Reed Richards. He gets to show genuine fear and heroism when facing down Galactus. His acting range is on full display. But here's the ironic twist. While Evans's script gave him nothing but comedy, Quinn's script often underutilizes his humor. He's so busy being the responsible, intelligent brother that the signature Johnny Storm wit sometimes takes a back seat. It's a fascinating reversal. Evans was all fire, no depth. Quinn is all depth, but sometimes the fire feels more like a controlled burn. My verdict on the acting range would be tough. Quinn showcases more emotional depth, but Evans's performance is more vibrant and memorable because he leans so hard into the one thing the script allowed him to do well. For pure, magnetic, scene-stealing star power, Chris Evans wins this round. He did more with less. All right, let's talk about the most important thing. The Fantastic Four is not a team. It's a family, and their chemistry is the secret sauce. So our next round would be cast chemistry. Chris Evans' Johnny, as we mentioned, had an absolutely electric dynamic with one person, the Thing. Their bickering was perfect. It felt like two brothers who loved each other deep down but would never, ever admit it. It's the gold standard for the Johnny-Ben relationship. But what about everyone else? His chemistry with Jessica Alba's Sue Storm felt more like a flirty coworker than a protective brother. And his dynamic with Ioan Gruffudd's Reed Richards was basically non-existent. They felt less like a family and more like four strangers who got stuck together in a cosmic elevator. An old Rotten Tomatoes audience review from 2007 put it best. Evans and Chiklis carry the team dynamic, but the script doesn't let them shine as a family. Now let's look at the class of 2025. This is where the MCU's focus on story and character pays off big time. Joseph Quinn's Johnny feels completely integrated into the family unit. His bond with Vanessa Kirby's Sue is the emotional core of the film. He teases her, yes, but he's also deeply protective. You believe they grew up together. His rivalry with Ben Grimm is less about pranks and more about strategic disagreements, but the underlying affection is there. And most importantly, he has a clear respect for Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. They work together, they trust each other, they feel like a unit. For my verdict on the cast chemistry, this isn't even a contest. The 2025 film was built around the family dynamic, and it shows. Joseph Quinn gets the decisive win here. His Johnny isn't just a fireworks show, he's a foundational part of the family hearth. So, it all comes down to the final two categories, reception and legacy. And this is where the context becomes king. Chris Evans' performance was universally seen as the best part of two critically trashed movies. Critics and fans alike praised his pitch-perfect portrayal of Johnny's charm. And his legacy? It's undeniable. His surprise cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine brought the house down in theaters worldwide.
Sorry, what now?
It wasn't just a fun callback, it was a coronation. It cemented his version of Johnny as an iconic piece of superhero movie history. He literally blazed a trail for his own future as Captain America. His impact is massive and unforgettable. Now what about Joseph Quinn? First Steps is a much better movie, and Quinn's performance has been praised. Deadline called him a standout. Fans love his intelligence and loyalty, but the praise is quieter. Some critics argued he lacks the fiery arrogance of the comics. The reception is strong, but it's mixed. He's respected, but is he beloved in the same way? And his impact? It's too soon to tell. He has memorable moments like that zero-G flight, but he doesn't have the moment. He doesn't have the billboard scene or the iconic catchphrase delivery that becomes a meme for 2 decades. So, who wins? Who's the better Human Torch? Here's my take. Chris Evans gave us the Johnny Storm we wanted. Joseph Quinn gave us the Johnny Storm we needed. Joseph Quinn's version is, on paper, superior. He has a better script, deeper emotional range, and fits into the family dynamic flawlessly. He is more faithful to the spirit of the comics, capturing Johnny's intelligence and heart. In many ways, he is the character we always deserved. But movies aren't made on paper. They're made of moments, of electricity, of pure, unadulterated star power that can lift a bad movie into something watchable, something memorable. And that's what Chris Evans did. He walked into a flawed film and set it on fire. He was so charismatic, so funny, so perfectly arrogant that he became inseparable from the role. He created a legacy out of sheer force of will. He didn't have the benefit of a good script or a well-oiled cinematic universe. He just had his own charm, and it was more than enough. Joseph Quinn gave us a more complex and intelligent Johnny Storm, but Chris Evans was Johnny Storm. He burned so brightly that his performance is still the one we measure all others against 20 years later. The final verdict has to go to Evans. Flame on, Chris. You're still the torch to beat. But here's the thing, this story isn't over. First Steps is just that, a first step. Joseph Quinn is slated to appear in Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. His Johnny Storm has room to grow, to get cockier, to create his own iconic moments. This debate could look very different in 5 years. And that's where you come in. Who do you think is the definitive Human Torch? Drop a comment and let me know. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started with these superhero deep dives.